Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. I'm Reverend Jean Bell. My pronouns are she and her. And I am so honored to have Nandi Das here today. I am so honored to be able to have this wonderful Ram Dass meet up with our former minister, the Reverend Dr. David Ault. J. Ram, yes, please, give it up, give it up. With J. Ram, his wonderful husband, and all of these beautiful musicians and vocals and voices and presence. If you are viewing on Facebook or YouTube Live, please, please stay tuned for this wonderful afternoon of chanting, of music, of ancient wisdom, and the teachings of Ram Dass. Please stay tuned. Now, as always, you know I'm going to have a few announcements, but I'll make them fast, all right? All right, so this Thursday, February the 19th at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom, Eastern Time, Coach Doris, she has a workshop on having conversations with our subconscious mind. And she is telling us that this is key to bringing about new intentions in our lives. So join Coach Doris, and you can find the link for registration on www.slca.com. And this Friday, SLCA and UUCA has partnered with Toco Hills Community Alliance for a mobile food pantry, and we need volunteers. So please do sign up to volunteer to help with food distribution and traffic control. I will be on traffic control, so all will be well. And so all you have to do is scan the QR code to sign up, and I hope to see you all there. And next Sunday, we have another guest singer and speaker, John Stringer. John Stringer. That song that you just heard, You Are Welcome Here, that is one of his masterpieces that he dedicates to us. But I found out that he dedicates it to every community that he sings and speaks that. So I thought we were special, but we still love him. In addition, we have SLCA member Koku Bui, and she will share her poetic talents with us with special selected poems. Both will be accompanied by our music director, Penelope Williams. And directly after service, we will have a welcome Karamu feast. And this feast is honoring a beloved new member of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta. The individuals we share this space with, they are our host. And they have a new associate minister, the Reverend Ian Hill. If you have not met Reverend Ian Hill, please, please seek him out and just be in his presence. He is the embodiment of love. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. And not only will we have music, and John Stringer will continue to be with us, Coco will be with us, and other musicians. We will also have a potluck, and the potluck will be a representation of beautiful colors, red, black, green, and yellow. So if you decide to participate, please think about those particular colors when you bring food. I hope to see all of you there because all are welcome. All right, let's see, what else do I have? Well, you are in luck. That's it. Enjoy, everyone. Oh, and please welcome Reverend Dr. David Ault.
Musical chair. So I count you among the brave. Coming to something you have no idea what's about to happen. And look at this. Very quickly, a Ram Dass meetup group is something that has been established first with my beloved right here, J. Ram Lentini, years and years and years ago after being a student of Ram Dass in his final 5 to 6 years. And Ram Dass wanted community. Part of his desire and legacy was that individuals would come together specifically to remind each other of truth, as he is famous for saying, walking each other home. And so we began to continue this tradition, and then our house became too small. And the Kashi Center ended up closing its doors, and those people migrated over, and then the Vedanta Center people started to come over, and you can imagine the cultural wave of individuals that continue to find us, because there is an international Ram Dass meetup directory, and we are the Atlanta chapter. So just like you can imagine anybody who's even passing through Atlanta, that's how they would find us. And we had to clean our garage because we had to put the food into the garage. So it prompted a lot of good home improvements. But at the same time, we kept saying, we are not moving this, we are not going to pay rent. And then there was a shift, as we call in New Thought, in consciousness. And that is, instead of saying what you're not willing to do, how can you reframe that? And so just jokingly, Jay Ram and I said, well, you know, if a billionaire came up and said, hey, we'll buy you a building for free, sure, we would do that. And we put that out there. And less than a week later, Reverend Jean and Shannon called and said, we understand and we see what's going on, and we want to open our doors to you. And I do want you to direct that admiration to both of them, because to me they are exemplifying exactly what community means in terms of interfacing all different kinds of faiths, which is what this whole thing represents. Last thing, about a few months ago, we were listening to a part of a lecture by Ram Dass, which you will also get to participate in today. And he said something that was extremely profound. He always does, but this one really stuck. And he said, everywhere you look, you see what you're looking for. Everywhere you look, you see what you're looking for. That is a direct carbon copy of what we might call lawfulness. And he added, if the only thing is God that you're looking for, then God is what you will see. If the only thing that you're looking for is clarity, harmony, peace, you add in your word, then that is what you will see. And we know that the law works respective of anything, whether conscious or unconscious. So if what we're looking for is justification of our smallness, then that is what we will see. If we are looking for justification that there is helplessness, or there is an absence of some type of order or some type of intrinsic design that is infallible, then we will find those things. And so for our short time together today, I want to present to you something, and that is, what are you looking for? It's a very simple question. What are you looking for? My prayer is that what you are looking for is an ever-evolving experience of the divine as you, that matches exactly what it is that delivers to you what it is that you've longed for, that you've prayed for. And bear in mind that that does not require you or I to set down our sadness. It doesn't require you and I to change or alter any kind of feeling. But what it invites us to do is to get used to holding two things: our humanness and our divinity, and to understand that they are not void of one another. Everywhere we look, we see what we're looking for. If you'll take a deep breath with me, we will begin our ceremony today by the ringing of the bell.
just walking each other home. We are all 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 just walking each other home.
And as you take a deep breath, as you acknowledge the entirety of your being, all the feelings, all the navigation, if it feels right for you to reach out to your neighbor and take the hand of the person to your right and to your left, I just want you to pause for a moment and see if you can feel the energy in that hand. Understanding the grace and the magnitude that every single one of us are in this together. And that we take this precious capsule of time today to recognize ourselves in each other. To become even hyper vigilant of what it is that we're truly looking for. And in that practice, as this tradition, they call them practitioners, we are practitioners of looking for God, for right action, for kindness. It becomes the determining factor of what it is that we choose each and every morning. And on those days when we are struggling, we think about the hand that we are holding and we recognize that there's an entire world holding our hand, reminding us that And whatever it is that we're looking for, we will see. And if we can't see it, it becomes even more valuable and more important to be it in the vastness of that void. And so today, in this sacred and holy gathering, as we chant the many names of God, as we recognize the unification of all the traditions, as we smile at the fact that there are many paths up the mountain, how beautiful it is when some of those paths merge and we recognize the immensity and the growth of family. And so let us remind ourselves once more through song exactly what we're doing today and every day, walking each other home.
We are all just walking each other home. We are all just walking each other home. We are all just walking each other home. We are all just walking each other home. One more time. We are all just walking each other home. We are all just walking each other home. Slow it down and savor it. We are all just walking each other home. We are all just walking each other home. No, we did not.
Okay. Welcome again. So, the singing that we do in our tradition is called kirtan, and generally that means call and response, but sometimes we do a bhajan, which is just a person leading. But anyway, we do it. Kirtan is about opening our hearts. It's a kind of yoga, and I'm going to read something that Ram Dass wrote. This was way back in the 70s in his book, Paths to God. And this helps us understand exactly what we're doing in this practice. Kirtan is the chanting of the names of God, a devotional yogic technique which has the power to purify and open our hearts. Just as devotion has many levels, kirtan can be done from any state of mind or level of evolution, and it will lead to deeper levels of opening and understanding. Kirtan uses music as a vehicle of communication, but is not concerned with singing or musical ability. Singing beautifully is not important. What is important is singing from the heart. In devotional singing in India, many times it was the old man who sang last with no teeth, raspy, broken voice, and hacking cough, who would totally blow everyone out because he knew what and to whom he was singing. And the beauty of this communication with God was moving and powerful. To practice kirtan, the instruction is always to do it in a disinterested spirit. Give up wanting to get off and give up a judgmental, evaluating attitude. Go into it with an open mind, allowing yourself to make the effort necessary to experience the way in which this method works. It isn't necessary to be feeling devotional to sing kirtan. Let thoughts and moods pass through, making space for new things to come from within. If you're blissful, be blissful in singing. If you're bored, be bored in singing. Just keep offering it all into the fire of the name. The more you can give up, the more your attention will orbit around the mantra. If someone is leading the chanting in a call and response, listening as important as singing and will help keep the monkey mind from wandering. So Ram Dass and the Westerners who went to India back in the late 60s to see the guru, Neem Karoli Baba, who is the man in the middle, who had very simple teachings, just love everyone, serve everyone, tell the truth, and remember God. The Westerners would sit in the back, and they would have to be called forward to have time with Maharaji, and they all wanted to be close to him all the time. And so someone got this wise idea to learn this 40-verse prayer to Hanuman. So if they sang it, then they'd get to sit up front. And so it worked. And so the Westerners slowly learned this mantra, which has become quite a staple in the Ram Dass community, and the Hanuman Chalisa. And this prayer is to Hanuman, the monkey god, who is the one over here. And Hanuman's thing is devotional service. And so he only wanted to serve Ram, or God. And so as we chant this mantra, it helps us to invoke in ourselves the spirit of service and the spirit of, or the power that comes from knowing that whatever we're doing, we just offer it to the one. And so this is a 40-verse prayer with a invocation, so we're probably not going to memorize it today. And so if you are insisting on wanting the words, you can use the QR code to pull up the mantra, but otherwise, just let it roll through and over you, and just try to keep your mind in a meditative fashion, just focused on the sounds. You can also clap and whatever, just be joyous if that's what comes. And at the end, we'll sing Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, and I would like everyone to participate in that as part of the practice. First, the invocation. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nijamana Mukuru Sudari Dharano Raghubara Bimala Jasu Jodaya Kopalachari Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumerom Pavana Kumara Balabuddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesha Bikara Siyavara Ramachandra Parajay Sharanam Jaya Hanumana Gana Guna Saga Jaya Pratisha Tiloka Ujaga Ramaduta Tulita Baladama Anjani Puja Pavana Sutana Mahavira Vikram Vajarani Kumati Devara Sumati Kesandi Kanchana Varana Viraja Sudesa Kanana Kumbhaka Kunjita Kesa Hata Vajra Raja Viraja Kande Murja Jane Usaja Shankara Suana Kesari Nanda Teja Pratapa Mahajagavanda Vidyavana Duniyati Chatu Ramakajikari Beko Atu Brahmacharitra Suni Beko Rasya Radhalakana Sita Ranavasya Sukshma Rupa Dharisya Hindikawa Ikata Rupa Dhari Lanka Jarava Bhima Rupa Dhari Asara Sangari Ramachandra Sambhava Raya Sajivana Lakana Jiyaya Shri Raghuvira Rashi Yogalaya Raghupati Kini Roho Sabaragi Tumama Priya Bhavatai Sambhavana Sahasavadana Tumaro Jasagawa Asakahi Shri Hati Kanta Gadawi Sanakadika Brahma Vimonisa Nana Vishara Vasahita Ahisa Yama Kubera Diga Pala Jahante Kabi Kodita Kahe Sake Kahante Tumaro Bakara Sudri Aniki Rama Nilaya Chakadavi Tumaro Mantra Vishana Mana Lankeshwara Vaya Sarva Jagajana Yuga Sahasra Jogana Paramana Nirotari Madura Kalakana Prabhu Mujika Milimuka Mahi Jalaki Gaya Chura Jalayi Durga Makacha Jakata Kejete Suramani Grati Marete Rama Duari Tumarakawari Otanaya Vinupesari Savasukalahe Tumare Sharana Tumara Shakaka Bhoga Apana Teja Samaro Ape Tino Loka Hanka Tenkame Uta Bisacha Nikata Nakiname Mahavira Japana Sunami Seroga Hare Savapira Japatanirantara Hanumatanira Sankata Ten Hanumana Churari Manakrama Vajana Jana Churari Sabapadarama Tapasvi Raja Tina Keka Jasakala Tumasaja Oram Manorata Joko Vinari Sohita Jiyana Balavari Charo Yuga Paratapa Tumara He Parasira Jagata Ujiyara Sadhu Santa Ke Tumarakawari Asurani Kandana Durai Ashta Siddhi No Nidhi Vedata Asavadatina Janaki Mata Rama Rasayana Tumare Asa Sada Reho Raghupati Kedasa Tumare Bhajana Rama Tika Bhave Janama Janama Ke Duka Bisarare Antakala Ravi Parakura Jai Jahan Janama Hari Bhattakai Ora Devata Chintana Dharani Hanumata Se Sara Suprakarani Sankata Kate Ite Sabapira Josumire Hanumata Dharani Jai 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 Hanumana Gosai Kripa Karo Guru Deva Kinai Josata Bharata Karato Chintani Bhakti Mahasino Julia Hari Hanumana Charisa Horasi Kisaki Gorisa Tulasi Dasa Sada Hari Jai Ki Jai Natar Dayamante Bhavanatanaya Sankata Haranam Mangalamurati Rupa Rama Lakana Sita Sahita Hridayanga Sarasurabu Siyavara Ramachandra Parije Sharanam Mangalamurati Marutanandana Sakala Amangala Muranikandana means remove from me all that is inauspicious by its root. Remove from me all that is inauspicious by its root. Mangala Murati Marutanandana Sakala Amangala Mulani Kandan Mangala Murati Marutanandan Sakala Amangala Mulani Kandan Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Sing it! Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri 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 Baba Neem Karoli Santa Maharaj Ki Jai.
Do I have a slide? In hope and prayer. This is one in English, and I'm hoping everyone will sing with me. Okay, yeah. So your words are on the side that says chorus, and there's some movement with these words. And then you'll see the word rise. We rise. Those are your words. Don't worry about all the other ones. I'll do those. Yeah? Oh, really important. This song was written by Batya Levine. Batya Levine will be in residency at Bet Havarim next weekend. And I'm really excited to meet her because I have been singing this song for a few years. And she'll be there Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday, and all of the public are welcome. It's not only for the Jews, but she will be in residence for the weekend there, next weekend. All right. In hope, in prayer. Ooh, do we need to pick a note here? In hope. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Harmony here. Yes, in unity. Yeah. Sure. Let me just teach it first. Okay. Here's our big part. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer. Listen, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. Ready? Let's do that again, yes? In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here, and we rise, humbly hearted, rise, won't be divided, rise, with spirit to guide us, rise, yes, in hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here, and we rise. All of the children rise. Elders with wisdom rise. Ancestors surround us rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, and with courage rise. Fighting for life we rise. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Yeah, presence, yeah.
So we were told that Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta has a theme every month, and that this month's theme was leading with love. So I happen to have a chant that goes along with that. Way back in the whenever it may have been, the quasi-mythical, legendary days, there was a sage named Narada, and he wrote a very important text called the Bhakti Sutras, which is a book about love. And he wrote it in Sanskrit, and I'm going to sing the words that he wrote. But I wanted to give you the translation of what I'm going to be singing so that when I'm singing all of this complicated stuff, you know what I'm saying. So Narada said, "The true nature of devotion is supreme love, and it is the nectar of immortality. Devotion does not arise from desire, for its nature is a state of inner stillness. When one is single-hearted," I love that, not single-minded, single-hearted. When one is single-hearted, one no longer seeks security in anything other than supreme love. The essential nature of supreme love is inexpressible. So cultivate only grace. Cultivate only grace. And we'll be chanting the mantra up on the screen there, Aham Prema. Prema is divine, infinite, unconditional love. Aham means I am. So I am unconditional love. Love is something that you are. It's not something that you do. So this mantra is very, very powerful. And feel free to keep using it as much as you like. Let's all chant Om together. Nice deep inhale and release. Sattvasmin Parama Premarupa Amrita Swarupa Cha Amrita Swarupa
I want to invite you now to take some breaths as we enter into listening to the wisdom of Ram Dass.
By 1979, Ram Dass had been teaching in the West for nearly a decade. Be Here Now had spread wide and far, and he was still straddling these two worlds, Western psychology and Eastern devotion, and trying to answer deeply human questions, including how do we make love a spiritual path without bypassing the messiness of it? So in our culture, attachment theory was reshaping how we understood love. They were showing that our very early bonds shaped our adult intimacy. And at the same time, this self-help movement was booming. It was offering a lot of advice. It was looking at our brokenness. And hopefully, it was offering some wisdom as well. The beloved Bell Hooks soon wrote that famous quote, "Love is an action, not simply a feeling." And for many of us, many seekers, love was beginning to mean something far more complex than just romance. And in this next clip, you can hear Ram Dass weave these mechanics of falling in love with the mystical quality of being love. He's showing us a new kind of map, one that doesn't just involve the romantic beloved, but the inner beloved as well.
I was a psychologist. I was a professor of psychology at one time at Harvard. And I studied a great deal about imprinting behavior in animals. And you know, probably most of you know by now, that there are certain patterns that if you show them to a baby gosling, it'll approach and open its mouth. And if you show it the pattern a different way, it'll run away and hide. And it's built into the mechanism. It's instinctively built in. Well, you and I, in our incarnations, in our bodies here on Earth, we are complex packages of mechanisms of this nature, very subtle mechanisms, chemical, biochemical, psychological, the way we were. And so now and then we meet somebody and we, quote, fall in love. Another way of saying that within this framework I was just mentioning is that that person is the key stimulus. That person is the key that allows you to touch the place in yourself where you are love. When you say, I fell in love with her or with him, it means she or he is my connection to the place in myself where I am love. And when I am in love, the whole world looks different, because love is flick plane of consciousness. So that your beloved becomes your vehicle for tuning, for shifting channels. Do you hear what I'm saying thus far? So when two people, and if you want to make it sound, if you want to run the crudity of it through, it's just like a junkie with a connection. And you get hooked on your connection, and you're very worried about what's going to happen to your connection. You want to make sure where they are and that you've got their telephone number. And it's the same way you feel towards somebody you're in love with. You want to possess them, and one of the things that strangles love relationships is that possessive quality of wanting to possess your connection. Because you don't know how to get to that place by yourself. And that's your vehicle for getting there. And when two people are in love with each other, they are both connections to help each other get into the place of love, and then they meet here in love. Now, what happens is that through spiritual practices, through tuning, through quieting the mind and opening the heart, through just tuning and tuning and tuning, you start to dwell, be able to flick through practice your consciousness and your heart until you come into the space of love. And then an interesting thing happens, and if you watch some of the social phenomena that have occurred in the recent years, you'll see that this is an interesting one, that as that happens, you start to experience love towards more and more people. And you learn how to live in a world of lovers. See, now we come back to something that you and I also share, besides just the fact that we are spiritual, sharing a spiritual journey in life. And that is that for us, because you are connected with Christ, and I also with Christ, and also with my guru, and also with other forms, our paths are devotional in nature. And that means our paths are through our hearts. And there are a variety of ways in which the heart path works. In Hinduism, they spell them out. There is the relationship between mother and child, for example, between Mary and Jesus. There is the relationship of friends, like between John and Jesus. There is the relationship of disciple to master. There is the relationship of servant to master. There is the relationship of father and child. There is the relationship of lover and beloved. Now, ultimately, you will find that because of your unique set of patternings, one of those forms will feel most attractive to you devotionally. You will explore them all, but one of them will feel most attractive. But as you get further into it, what I find is that all those ways become my way. And that I get so that everywhere I look, I see my beloved. I don't see the form as a historical form or as a special form. It's as if this is all God. And every one of you is my guru, come in drag to catch me. You're coming to say, I'll catch you. You'll think I'm somebody else. You won't see that I'm God too. The quality of my guru was that he was nobody special. He was just another being. There was nobody there. There was just, every time you looked, you just fell in love. And my path is very simple, and it's your path. My path is the path of service and of love. Service because there's nothing else I can do. And love because it is such an absolutely royal road through. It's so much easier than the way of Gyan, the way of knowledge. Because all you have to do is love. Maharaji kept saying to me, you don't have to change anybody, you just have to love them. And when you go around changing people, you forgot perfection. Finally, what you become, or in the process you become an environment, a vibratory rate. Your life is your message. You dwell in love, and everybody that meets you, just by your presence, has an opportunity to come into love. That's all. You don't lay a trip. You don't proselytize. You don't prove. And you give people plenty of space. I won't lay a trip on you. I am what I am.
Hello. One of the things that makes the meetups very rich, if we could get just a little bit of light in the auditorium, is not only do we listen, but we talk about it a little bit. And one of the ways in which we do that is I invite you, if you have a question or something specifically on the teaching itself, then as some of the lights come up or I can see you, look at you, Jairam. Jairam is a runner.
I will give you a microphone.
Oh my God. So I'm curious if don't be shy. In fact, this is kind of one of my favorite things. So something about that. Woo! Well, first of all, look at this house. My God, look at this. Man. All right.
Gorgeous.
So who has a question? Anybody? Susan. Reverend Susan. Jean, you're a mic runner too? Oh my God. Okay.
Is this, yeah. David, are the 8 arms of yoga included, the true yoga, as part of Jairam's teaching in Ram Dass?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
All paths, all forms of yoga, yes.
Explicitly taught? I mean,
When I was
eight
with
steps?
Ram Dass, I had the privilege and honor of sitting with him multiple times. I stayed at his house and had one-on-one sessions with him. And the way that he taught, by that time he had had a stroke and wasn't speaking that well. And so it wasn't quite like what we just heard. But he definitely impressed upon me like ahimsa, like non-harming, in really an interesting way. So we were talking about a struggle I was having with my mind, and I was like, and that thought would come and I would just cut it, I told him. And he said, too violent, like love the thought. And that was his teaching on ahimsa, so that's an example.
And one of the more profound, I guess you could call it turnarounds for me, was to begin to look at what is thought and to consider, this is a big one, that there is no such thing as a real thought. It's just a thought. It's something that consciousness does. What makes it real is the personalization of it. So it's kind of like Doshin Buddhism says that you're not Susan seeking awareness. You are awareness as Susan. And to the degree that Susan, on her immaculate journey as Susan, begins to extricate herself from all things that we call self-referential, like the me. And yet, the paradox is you must do self-referential in order to be in the body of Susan. And so that's where the paradox is. That's what, when Christ said, be in the world. So you be you in the form of self-referential in this world. But when Christ said, not of it, what did that mean? Don't get lost and begin to believe that you are the costume. The costume is the vehicle by which you express the love. And the mind really struggles with that. Any other thoughts? Who else? Hey, Peter.
Hey. So this idea that everyone's God in drag. So I go to some things at times and I struggle being there because of something or something going on, someone or something going on, and then I leave and I remember, like, that's why I'm there, because it's bugging the hell out of me. And I remember being my last romantic relationship. She would, I don't know, complain about something, and I would think, what would you do without me? Well, who would you have to complain about? You know. And anyway, so both of those things together. That's all I wanted to say.
Peter is my comment. Okay. Behind all of that, what was the impulse to share that? Like, so you go somewhere, there seems to be an incongruency or an inconsistency to what feels right for you. And then the lesson becomes what?
The lesson becomes love anyway. The lesson becomes, why is this challenging me?
That's a great question.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
the question I keep asking.
Yeah.
And so then I keep showing up, and often it's because I don't yet have the capacity for it. Or maybe I don't really have, like, the way to deliver what might be of service.
Or what we say is, you're not absent of the way, but in the process of remaining focused with regards to seeing love, then all of the veils of separation begin to lift, like mist. You remind me a little bit of the story of the monks in the monastery, and then they all got along except for they didn't like, we'll call him Fred. So Fred the monk, because Fred didn't abide by the rules and he talked after, lights out, and somebody swore they smelled bacon frying in his room, and it just, Fred wasn't fitting in. And so they kept going to, the Rinpoche and complaining, and, they were all conniving, how do we get rid of, this place would be so great without Fred. And one day the head Rinpoche was going off to go to the market to buy supplies for the monastery. And all of the monks took it upon themselves to call a meeting, and where they brought Fred in, and they go, this is not the place for you. And they convinced him that this wasn't the place for him, and they just suggested that he pack his things and go. And so Fred did, and all of the monks were quite pleased with themselves until the Rinpoche returned, and he's like, where's Fred? And very proudly, all of the monks said, well, Fred realized that he didn't belong here. And the Rinpoche stood up, and he goes, where is he? And they said he was, off down the mountain to catch the bus to leave. So the Rinpoche runs down the mountain feverishly, gets to the stop where the bus is pulling up, right when Fred's walking on, and he says, please, please don't leave. Please don't leave. And Fred said, but I don't belong. And he said, oh, but you do. You are the thing that brings the richness to practice. So in many ways, however you perceive this Fred character to be, it's all masked in love. Anybody else? Hey, Charlie.
I really love Ram Dass and the way he talks about love, and the nature of it being give people a lot of space and don't try to change people, and it makes so much sense, because when you're trying to change people, that you have an agenda. It's not, I understand all of that. I'm wondering, I like to take other points of view too at the same time. So what would somebody say about the downside to that? For example, if you just keep smiling when somebody does whatever, you could say you are being an enabler. Like you are approving of whatever people do, no matter what. Is that a downside?
So what I understand Ram Dass to be talking about is not an either or. Loving people where they are does not mean then letting them ride over you. It isn't about you giving up your personal autonomy. It isn't about condoning in any way. It's pausing and understanding. And even in the pausing and the understanding, there is a moment where you are capable of speaking into a collective, into an individual, to say, that's not acceptable, or that isn't allowed here, or this doesn't, this isn't for me. But there is a way in which we do it then that can see them for what they are, and to recognize, and it takes also the ability to recognize that if I'm not self, if I'm Sky, Sky's not taking it personally. Do you understand the paradox of that?
I do see it as a paradox, because if you say something about how that's not acceptable, you could interpret that as an attempt to change that person.
Anybody else have thoughts on this up here?
Well, I think the central teaching of Maharaji is tell the truth. And so there was this whole thing with Ram Dass and Maharaji around love everyone and tell the truth. And so they had this whole several day thing where Ram Dass would go to Maharaji. Maharaji would call Ram Dass, come up. And Ram Dass would come up and he'd say, Ram Dass, love everyone. Yes, Maharaji. And he would go about his day. And he was starting to get annoyed with the Westerners. Like, everybody was there because he had brought them there, but they were starting to get on his last nerve. And he, like you would do in a group, it's just like, oh God, these people. And he was kind of the leader. He was like the oldest one of them all at 32, and they were all in their 20s, so you can imagine how this was going. And then Maharaji would call Ram Dass up the next day. Ram Dass, tell the truth. And he's like, well, the truth is he's not liking these people. And he wants to tell them how impure they are. But he's, so he's struggling with this. Ram Dass, love everyone. Ram Dass, tell the truth. And so should I go on with this whole long story? So, so they were staying on the other side of the hill from the ashram. And at this time, Ram Dass was not dealing with money. Maharaji told him, don't touch money. And so he had given all his money to other people to hold. And so every day they would take a bus from the other side of the mountain all the way around to the ashram, and they'd spend the day with Maharaji in the ashram. And somebody would pay his bus fare. Well, he started to kind of tell the truth to people all through, and so he's alienated everybody, and he's yelled at everyone, and so people are really pissed at him too. So he has gotten to the point where there's nobody is really on his team, and he's not speaking with anyone, and they get on the bus and they leave, and he has no money, and so he cannot get on a bus. And so he starts to walk, and he's walking. It's like a 4-hour walk up and down this mountain, and he can see the ashram, and he's just getting more and more angry at these people. I brought them all here, and the truth is, I don't love these people. I don't love them. And he's just furious. And so he gets down to the ashram. He walks in and they're having food and somebody offers them a plate and he just hits the plate right up into their face. And this in India, like to shove food in someone's face is just so wrong. And he's just beyond angry at everyone. And so Maharaji, Ramdas, what's wrong? Come here. And he sits down in front of Maharaji. Ramdas, what's wrong? You told me to love everyone, and you told me to tell the truth. And the truth is, I don't love everyone. I do not, I'm mad. And he says, well, Ramdas, do you love me? And Ramdas sort of just breaks. And he says, yes, Maharaji, I love you. Well, then he said, Ramdas, and he brought him real close. Ramdas, love everyone and tell the truth. And when he looked over at all the Westerners that he had just been hating, he loved them all. He saw their souls. He saw who they really are in truth, which was not all of the annoying personalities that he was dealing with, like we all deal with on this channel. He saw their souls, and he saw that deep in each one of us is something lovable, because that thing is God. It's the same thing inside of me and you. It's all the same. And so this revelation occurred, and he's crying, and then he slowly forgave everyone for the insults or perceived insults that he felt on this plane, and that was the teaching. Thank you.
Until the next day. You start to see the constancy of the practice, right? You also know the story of Ramdas, who very openly loathed Caspar Weinberger. Anybody around during the reign of Caspar Weinberger, Department of Defense? And I mean, just seething, loathing this person. And then here's this, love everybody. And so he couldn't. And the dilemma with that, and I'm wondering if you can identify with anybody perhaps in your life that you might be struggling with, so that we're not bypassing, but we're really looking at this from a solution-driven component. And so there's a puja. So a puja is your altar. And every day at his puja, he had all of his pictures. He had Jesus. He had Anandama. He had Buddha, Krishna. He had his guru named Karoli Baba. He had all of these beautiful pictures. And every day at his puja, he would welcome them. He would ring the bell. And he would say, good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Buddha. And he put Caspar's picture up on his altar. And he would go through this whole lineage, and then he'd go, hello, Caspar. It's a very famous story. And it's not just a good story. It's a really sobering practice. It's Ho'oponopono prayer on steroids. It's taking the time to literally go and find a picture and printing it, perhaps putting it in a frame, and putting it in the most sacred space that is personal to you. In no other way, willingness, just willingness. The willingness to be able to perceive the love that is there. Because, help me out here, there's no such thing as two unities. There's no such thing as two awarenesses. And no one has ever said that coming into a human form, into a plane of duality, was easy. But the fact that you have already instills with you the ability to begin to hold two things at once. Holding two things at once means you advocate. But you begin to look at your advocacy from a different standpoint, rather than bringing the same energy towards the thing that you hate or dislike. That you begin to show up in a way that is holding that and the willingness to be able to be that. You've all heard the mythology of Mother Teresa being invited to go march, and she wouldn't march for war, but if you were holding a march for peace, she would show up. Whether that's true or not, it's a really great story. And it's applicable to all of us. And you and I and no one else in this room, or anywhere else for that matter, is supposed to do that alone. And that's what community is for. And that's what singing is for. And that's what it means for you to get really, really deep into the self-honoring, the self that is you, that is pure, that is sky. Anybody from old SLCA days remember the 3 favorite words? To the degree, to the degree. To the degree that we are able to see the God in ourselves is the degree by which we can even begin to see it out there. Who else? Amrit.
Yeah. This is going back just a little bit, but it seems like there can be all of this focus, like whether it's I forget his name.
Casper Weinberger?
No.
Boy, I have that on the tip of my tongue, don't I?
I heard this story a little bit, same basic story, but
Yeah.
the Rinpoche story. But, and in everything that we're talking about, there's all of this looking outward. And so it's like the question really kind of can come back to, it's like who is the me? Like, who is the me that is irritated? Who is the me that is, can't love Casper Weinberger? Like, who, and just being able to hold that work in, like, within, like,
Beautiful.
the duality and the multiversity within.
Because everywhere we look, we see what we're looking for, right?
Right, so who is the me that is fixated on this narrow view?
Beautiful. One more.
Go ahead.
No.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to share something. We all know that these enlightened masters can see right through you. We are all naked when we are in front of them. So when Maharaji was calling Ramdas, he could see everything that was going on with him. So, and I think you also talked about duality. So the duality is manifested not just in physical forms, but like think of your body and your Atman, which is the soul. Atma is the Sanskrit or Hindi word for soul. But also think of duality in terms of your mind and heart. So mind is a biocomputer which is just concerned with your well-being. It is incapable of feeling things like bliss or love and so on and so forth. So that's where some of that duality or that paradox comes from, where your mind wants to do something, but and your brain says, look for, a better outcome for you. So that's where the duality comes in.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. All right.
Hello? Okay. So we are going to shift back into another bit of kirtan now. And Ian's going to lead us in a Buddhist chant, Gate Gate. And this, I just wanted to take a minute and let you guys know that my brother passed away in January while we were together in Cambodia on a trip to see Kaleidoscope Schools, the David's nonprofit. And so it's a tender time for me and my family, and I know it's a tender time for many of us with our having losses of people or pets or dreams or, just watching what's happening in the world. It's a very trying time. But I just wanted to honor my brother Joe, and his picture is up here. And there's a beautiful altar here, and I would encourage you to come by when this is over and just absorb the love that that is in this altar and that we are putting into this altar as we are singing.
So this mantra, Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Svaha. It's one of the most important of all the Buddhist mantras, and it's great for situations like where we find ourselves at this particular time on this particular planet. The purpose of this mantra, more than anything else, is to let go or to release or to break down the barrier between what you perceive as yourself and what you perceive as not yourself. So when it talks about going beyond, it talks about going beyond that barrier that you have created, wherein you see yourself as separate from everything else. And that's not a character judgment. We're all doing it. So the less we can identify in that manner, the more peace there will be, the more harmony there will be, because self and not self start to disappear, and you start to understand. It's not that you understand, it's you start to live. You start to exist within the framework that everything is part of everything else and intimately and integrally connected. So this was an important little bit of wisdom that the Buddha wanted people to know, and this mantra is specifically designed to like push that into your DNA. So we're going to begin with some of the Himalayan singing bowls with Margot. Gate, Gate, Para, Gate, Para, Samgate, Bodhisvaha. Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisvaha. All together. Gate, Gate, Paragate, One more time.
Hello, everyone. My name is Radha Rose, and I'm very, very grateful from the bottom of my heart to be playing with these stellar musicians. And you too, you're musicians. Everyone in this room is a singer. I can tell you this because I didn't begin singing until 2020, and it's changed everything about my life. But the truth is, I wouldn't sing if I didn't have love in my heart. The love came first, and then the singing. The chant we're going to now share with you, that we invite you to be a part of, is Soham Shivoham. Thanks for the lyrics. Yes, today's Mahashivaratri, a holiday that's celebrated all around the world by Hindus, by anyone who resonates with Shiva consciousness. Soham means just like aham is like I am, Shivoham like the consciousness of Shiva, one of the greatest yogis that ever existed. Join me for a couple ohms. we're actually going to shift the key to this. One more Om. Soham 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 Shivoham Soham 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 Shivoham
Soham 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 Shivoham Soham Soham
Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om 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 Namah
Together, let's breathe in for Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Wishing peace to all beings in all worlds. Deep breath in for Om.
I appreciate you making space for this. So there's a movement kind of rising across the country. It started in Minneapolis, and it's called Singing Resistance. Have you guys heard about Singing Resistance? It's been very Instagram-based. And the videos coming out of Minneapolis right after Renee Good was shot and executed were a group of people responding on the streets through loving song. And as soon as I saw that, I'm a singer of all these songs. I sing every day to students and people at deathbeds and in yoga studios. I felt called because these were death workers, grief workers, people caring for each other, their families and their neighbors. And they poured out into the streets at the site where that was honoring Renee Good and then Alex Preddy and then people were coming together because of the violence and brutality in that city. So Singing Resistance blew up and I said, oh, I want to do it. I want this in Atlanta because of all the fear out there around ICE numbers rising in our city and the new detention centers that are coming 45 minutes from Atlanta. And hearing about all the frightened people worried about themselves and their partners and their status as immigrants. So in the spirit of love, I want to teach this as a Singing Resistance song. They've sort of, out of Minneapolis, they've been putting out songs. And then here in Atlanta, we have our own rich history of civil rights songs. And so they're all included. You know, this Singing Resistance isn't only songs out of Minneapolis from these particular people. In Hope and Prayer actually is one of the ones. So I am teaching songs that can be used potentially, again, in living rooms. On the streets, there's a call to sing to immigrants and people who are at ICE detention centers. There's a big march, March 28th. If you're into that type of a outpouring protest, it will be downtown in Atlanta and all around the smaller areas that also are making it clear that we are not in alignment with what is occurring in our country from the top of the administration of our country, the regime that's dominating, unfortunately. So if you would sing this song with me, we'll sort of kick off your entree into Singing Resistance, and it's really just a song of love. And that's the beauty of it, is every one of us can participate. Every one of us can be in alignment with serving each other, serving the humanity in our country right now. Okay. Let's try it. We are here. We are here. With our voices. With our voices. Our love for each other will carry us through. Try that. Our love for each other will carry us through. Yeah, all right, we'll put it together. And there's an echo here that goes on, so you can sing, like this side can sing. We are here, with our voices, all together. Our love for each other will carry us through. We are here, with our voices. Our love for each other will carry us through. Let's just do it one more time. We are here. We are here. We are here. With our voices. Our love for each other will carry us through. In our bodies. We are here. In our bodies. In our bodies. Our love for each other will carry us through. We are here. In our bodies. In our bodies. Our love for each other will carry us through. Let's do one more round with our neighbors. We are here. We are here. With our neighbors. With our neighbors. Our love for each other will carry us through. Connecting this energy to those that you feel need this love, that feel forgotten and afraid. Breathe in and breathe out. We keep sending it out, sending it out. Here in this sanctuary in a couple weeks, February 27th, we'll do a teaching of these different songs. So if you want to get involved, the word has not gotten out officially yet, but it just did this moment. So.
Last but not least, I want to introduce you to Ian Basio, the just musical mastermind, genius, stellar human being who has become such an important part of my life and Jairam's life, and also did the score for the full-length documentary of Kaleidoscope Child. And I want to ask Ian if he would go around and introduce everyone on stage.
All right.
And if you could just give them some love when he does that.
All the way on the far left. On guitar, that's Austin Phillips. On the drums, my brother Stan Holt. Our vocal extravaganza, Janina Edwards. Radha Rose. Shanali Banerjee. On the singing bowls, the ever beautiful and beloved Margot Gomes.
Margot!
And of course, our hosts, Jairam Lentini and David Ault.
Kudos to Shannon Pruitt and kudos to Reverend Jean Bell.
Thank you.
For your vision and your hospitality.
And thanks to Robert Hannon for doing the sound. What a blessing.
Robert. Robert, can I tell them that I knew you when you had a mohawk? Yes, all in the days when Robert had a mohawk. So you may have seen chai in the lobby. The chai is a special recipe that comes from the Taoist temple in honor of Neem Karoli Baba. And my husband makes it, and it takes all day Saturday. And he did chai for 1,000 million people, and he sings into the chai. And so as you are consuming it, you are getting the mantras of love that he has sung into there. So and we thought, how will we continue that tradition? And so not only did he make it, but then he poured it into all these different gallons, and then we drove very carefully here. And
Enjoy
then,
it.
And now we will do what Maharaji said, and that was to feed people. People said, Maharaji, how do I gain enlightenment? And he said, feed people, serve people, love people, and remember that the only truth is God. So I hope that you will come down. I hope that many of you have come and shared your dish. We order from a lovely Indian family that has become family to us in their restaurant, and so we've brought their food as well. And last but not least, in the lobby, there are some QR codes for Nandi Das. We are in just so humbled partnership with SLCA. We want to make this a win-win for both communities. And so anything that you feel compelled to donate will be distributed, as well as something called prasad. And prasad is, if you've ever been to India and you go to a temple, when you leave, you have to do your hands like this. And they put some kind of something in there, and you're supposed to eat it. So we have prasad in the form of some pictures. And if you want to look at the pictures of Maharaji and something draws you, that's your prasad, and you are welcome to take that. And I believe that I answered all the questions.
Well, let me just,
Yeah.
if there's a few people who could help me go down and prepare the food, and if you guys would just sort of stay for a minute and let us get the hot food out. It'll just take like 1.5 minutes. And maybe while I'm doing that, and if anybody wants to come with me, I would appreciate your help. And then David can tell you about where our announcements are going to live from now on.
Oh, okay. All kitchen help, please exit now. All kitchen help, please exit now. Look at them. The last thing is we always give space for people. There is so much good happening in Atlanta. So many practitioners of different modalities, so many offerings. So what we have done is there's a QR code. It's on the Nandi Das website now. So rather than making those and reading those, you can go at your leisure. You can see Margot's sound healing. You can see Radha Rose and all of the amazing things that she does, from the mastery of finding your voice to all the different offerings that go on. This is such a rich, rich city filled with such incredible people. Paul Chen is here from Natural Awakenings magazine. He can tell you as well. And once again, we are so humbled and grateful that you all came out today. I hope you'll make a new friend, and I hope that you will express the love that's in your heart, and just look around to those that you meet today and be sure and let them know. Ready? Everybody stand up. Woo! We could sing Happy Trails, but that's it. Adios. Goodbye. Thank you.